What's going on, guys? Full here from Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube. And as you can see behind me, we have this top secret delivery, which came from RBP, Rolling Big Power. They sent it over, and I got pretty excited because it actually says, "Attention, Parker Fuller." So this is clearly all of my stuff, and I get to keep it all. Not actually true. I really actually don't know what is inside of it, but I have this big machete, and we are about to open it up to see what's inside and kind of bring you guys an unboxing video. I believe we have new wheels, new products in general, new finishes, new styles, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna tear into this and we'll bring that to you because I don't actually know how this video is gonna go until I open it to figure out what's inside. All right, so as far as continuity goes, I have no idea if I even have the same clothes on or what my beard looked like or what my hair was doing that day, but we finally got the RBP stuff completely unboxed and then palled it up, some of it, so we can kind of show it to you guys as far as what RBP is doing in 2019, what sets them apart, what they're doing different, and so on. So I want to start by talking about the dually wheels. Now, when I took the cover off this and I saw this wheel, I was big time impressed because this is just insane to look at this is a 22 by 8 1/4 wide because it's dually wheel, so they run 8 1/4 wide. And then you have like a 10-inch wide lip on here just because of this extreme negative offset, and it just looks absolutely killer. And one of the things that I like most about the dually wheels and their Forge series is that they're CNC'd right here in the United States, they're forged in the United States, they're designed in the United States, everything's done here in the States, which is just something super cool and something that we can be proud of as Americans. So as far as design goes, very intricate milling, very thin spoke design, very flat. There's some concavity to it just because of, you know, being this massive negative offset. And then one other thing too, you'll see this cap is absolutely massive. That's because it's a dually, so they kind of have to do that. But where they shine is that this is a 4-piece billet cap, and that comes standard. There's no additional charge for that, like some of the other forged wheel companies are charging like $600 if you want to go to billet caps. So something really cool to see RBP tossing in there as just part of the standard pricing. The reason why they do 4 pieces is that so that you can pop this all apart and then paint it whatever color you want to match your vehicle and your build. And then they're also offering 10-lug applications, which not everybody's doing either. So like your F450 and F550, if you guys are running custom aftermarket wheels on those, you can get them in a 10-lug pattern, and RBP is drilling these vehicle specific. So when you order, they're drilled for your bolt pattern and your hub bore, so you know that they're going to fit right. So that's something super neat to see from RBP when it comes to the forged dually lineup. As far as sizes go for their dually lineup, now you can get these in 22, 24, 26, and 28, all by 8 1/4 wide. And then I'm sure you're wondering about weight ratings because if you have a dually, you probably do a lot of towing. Each wheel is rated at 6,800 pounds, so they definitely are going to hold up to anything that you're towing. Now, another thing to mention too, there are a few companies out there that if you buy this outer wheel, the inner wheel is just going to be a pretty basic, boring, stock-ish looking wheel because it's behind here so you don't see it. RBP said, no, we're not doing that. We're still going to give you a cut wheel on the back so that you have that custom aftermarket look regardless of what angle you're standing at when you're looking at your vehicle. So again, just another way that RBP is taking their forge game and really elevating it. You know, for so many years, like American Forged and Specialty Forged, like those were the forged guys. But now after seeing the dually forged wheels from RBP as well as some of their other forged wheels, I'm truly impressed by what they're doing for not being that big of a name. RBP is huge, but they seem like they weren't that popular, and they've just been gaining in popularity recently, and that's why we've been showing them more, as they keep sending us stuff that I just open up and I'm like, holy cow, I can't believe they're including this. Since I'm on the topic of forged wheels, I'll pull out this. Now this is this RBP forged box, and it's actually included on all forged wheel purchases above 24 by 14, I believe is the size. Now, this is pretty crazy when it comes to a swag box because I don't know that there's anybody else out there in the market that includes anything like this. So when you buy wheels and tires from Custom Offsets, we ship you a free decal, which is great, and then you get a chance to get a free shirt when you add your vehicle to the gallery, which is super cool. But it is nothing compared to what RBP gives you. So I'm just gonna kind of pull these things out of here so I can show you what's all included. So they have this license plate frame. They have a Yeti mug, which this is a real Yeti mug. It's not like a knockoff one. It's actually a Yeti. So you know that there's money put into that. We have, I believe this is an RBP banner. You get an RBP hat, the RBP product guide, an RBP t-shirt, Voodoo Ride detailing microfiber cloths, some more cleaning products. You got wheel cleaner, you got tire dressing, you get a couple can koozies, you get a lanyard, you get this RBP badge. What is this? RBP swag bag, another RBP banner. This one's massive. I'm probably not going to open up this one, but you can tell it's huge. What else we got here? RBP keychain, another RBP badge, another RBP keychain, and an RBP logo hitch cover, which is actually pretty cool. There's a lot of money put into this, and this too, again, you could paint to match your vehicle if you're really looking to like step up to that show vehicle look. Even though this is something really simple, I think it's very thoughtful that RBP includes all of this stuff when you buy their forged wheels. So you're not just getting the wheels, you're also getting like a brand kit, and you just really feel part of the RBP family. I know when we had Kelly here, she talked about RBP being a family and how like before photo shoots or before SEMA and stuff like that, that they will actually get everybody together and like have a grill out, a cookout, and everybody kind of hangs out beforehand. So something really cool to see from RBP, that they give you all of this stuff when you buy their forged wheels. So if you want the forged box, one of the options for you would be this bad boy right here. So another thing that RBP is doing with their forged series, I feel like I'm talking about forged a lot, but they're doing really cool things. What do you want me to talk about? You can get custom finishes. So this particular one has a gloss black powdered center with a polished barrel. Now one thing that I noticed too, and I'm not sure if it's just because I believe this is like prototype, first article, SEMA wheel type thing going on here, but the actual polish finish straight out of the box isn't quite where I expected it to be as far as quality goes. I think Hostile has the best looking forged wheels straight out of the box that don't require additional polishing. American Forged, Specialty Forged, even those guys that are the big names in the polished wheel industry, usually you get the wheels and then you still need to polish them up yourself to make them have that mirror-like finish. RBP wheels, same kind of story. They are just a little bit cloudy, but if you could polish these right up in just a couple hours and then have that mirror-like finish. But it is still cool to see that they're offering these custom color combinations where you can pretty much do anything that you want. And they don't have rivets on the lip. They have RBP Forged milled in there, but no rivets, so keep it clean looking. Very thin spokes, obviously because it's forged, so these wheels are significantly stronger than your typical cast wheels, so they're able to do things like that. But I think that's enough for forged wheels. This is what I'm super excited about. This is the RBP 50R, I believe it's called the Cobra, and although style-wise it's not anything super impressive, kind of reminds me of like Patrick Star. It's just a pretty basic spokey looking wheel with one extra piece, so you get 6 spoke rather than the 5-star or 5-spoke Patrick Star wheel. As far as sizes go, this is going to be available in 17x9, 18x9, and 20x9. Then they also have it available in UTV fitments in the 14x7 and 15x7, so you can find it for just about anything that you want, really. So why is this cool? Why am I talking about that? It would be because although this is a true bead lock, it's also not a true bead lock. So what I mean by that is it's set up with 2 beads, essentially, or 3 beads technically. So you have your back of the wheel, so you can mount the tire. You have the front of the wheel where you can mount the tire, and then you have the bead lock where you can also mount the tire. So if you want to run this on the street, you can do so, even though it's a bead lock. And that's a big deal because bead locks typically aren't DOT approved. So this is actually something that's patent pending from RBP that they're doing different than anybody else on the market. So if you're running this as a street wheel, you mount it to obviously the inside beads. If you run it as a true bead lock, you mount it to the outside so you can actually use the bead lock and lock your bead in place. That's kind of the whole purpose of it. But if you have it on the street, you could also just use this as like a rock guard or a curb guard so that if you do smash this up, you can just unbolt it and replace it. They use grade 8 hardware, which is pretty standard, not really anything surprising there, but just really interesting to see that somebody's finally offering a DOT-approved bead lock, but I guess somebody's gonna probably argue in the comments that it's not a DOT-approved bead lock if you're not actually using the bead lock. So whatever, that's up for debate. I think it's super cool. I would definitely run this if I had an off-road rig. So the last thing I have to talk about from RBP is their cast lineup, and now before you click off of the video, They don't have just boring cast wheels like, you know, other people have, or RBP had kind of boring wheels in the past, but they're doing some pretty cool things now. This is the RBP Falcon. This is cast. This is a 26 by 16 negative 101, and this is only $2,400. You get the point. I'm just staring now at this point. So yeah, they're making crazy sizes, they're making crazy finishes. This particular one, so the milling on here is not your standard milling. They have this very neat, intricate, small milling going on where they put RBP in the face. They don't have the rivets, but then in the wheel, if you look at the actual spokes, they have this really big, like chunky looking milling, but you run your finger over it and it's smooth. So they've cleared over this, obviously, so that you can run it year round and not have to worry about any issues with oxidization there. But I love the styling since it's so much bigger and it looks like these ridges, it just gives it more depth because it's really smooth along the edge of the spoke, and then the face of the spoke has these larger mill marks like I kind of talked about. And then they also offer this in blank bolt patterns, which I think is something worth mentioning. So if you have something that has a atypical bolt pattern, you can still get a set of RBP cast wheels for it, or RBP forged wheels, they'll drill those out for you too. So just something to note on the RBP stuff. And then as far as their chrome wheels go, RBP has actually started doing a double chrome plating process on their cast wheels so that you can run them through winters like we have here in Wisconsin, where they put bajillion and a half gallons of salt and this salt chemical spray all over the roads that just ruins vehicles and ruins wheels. So RBP is doing that double chroming process, like I said, so that you don't have to worry about that quite so much. So it's really nice to see a company is looking out for the end user as much as RBP is, and that really is about all I have. So some of these styles are new, some of them aren't out yet, some of them will be out very soon, so some of them are on pre-order, some of them are on back order. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with RBP wheels, so if you have questions on them, first check out the site, and if you're still confused, just go ahead and drop a comment below, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. You can always shoot us a message. Make sure you give the video a like, and like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on, or subscribe, on YouTube, Snapchat. We got all the social medias. Check it out. Peace.